I just came on to rant about something today. But I'll let some people get in here, hopefully. I'm not happy to be up this early. I did not get a full night's sleep. So I'm going to rant about some things because I'm feeling like ranting about some things today. Oh, yeah. And I gotta smoke a little bit before I go back to sleep, so I figured why not go live for a little bit and vent about something that's been annoying me. And frankly, I'm just kind of sick of this mentality. Some of you may know by now that I used to work for Playboy. I am a Playboy model, not a playmate. You know, there's a lot of people don't know that there's like different kind of like, I don't know what you would call it. I would call it an honor to be a playmate. I didn't have that honor, but I did have the honor of working for Playboy quite a bit in different areas. I did do a photo shoot for Playboy. There's a difference. A playmate is like you get in the magazine and you get like a centerfold. But I wasn't a playmate. I was just a Playboy model. So I did do a photo shoot, but it wasn't like I did a Playboy photo shoot, but it was for online. It wasn't in the magazine, so it wasn't like a playmate photo shoot. Yeah, when you're a playmate, you're like playmate of the month, and then they can get playmate of the year too. You can actually get playmate of the year if you're a playmate of the month with a centerfold in the magazine. Anyways, you guys might know who Crystal Harris is. It's surprising to me that a lot of people still don't know who she is. She's like the one girl that actually married Hugh Hefner and had him all to herself, basically. She didn't have to be, she came right after The Girls Next Door. If you guys remember that show with Holly Madison, Kendra Wilkinson, and Bridget Marquardt. So you had Holly, Kendra, and Bridget for the Girls Next Door show. And that was, I had always like put Playboy on a pedestal and just thought it was like so glamorous. And I had always wanted to do Playboy since I was really young. So it was even before the Girls Next Door show. But at that time, that era, when they had the Girls Next Door show on, it was very popular. I really kind of was like, okay, that got me kind of stoked up. And I was like, I don't know. That was the era that really like lit a fire under me to like get to LA and make my dream come true and actually start, working with Playboy and just finally, try to work with Playboy, which had always been my dream. So I got out there and I never made it to like the Playboy mansion while Kendra, Bridget, and Holly were there at the Girls Next Door. That was right before I ended up moving to LA. So by the time I got there, it was when Hef was dating Crystal Harris. And they weren't married yet. They were just dating, but he wasn't dating anyone else. She was his only girlfriend at the time, which was like unheard of up until that point because Hef had always had multiple girlfriends. And usually, like 2, 3, 4 at a time, whatever. But this was after the era of the Girls Next Door, and this is when he was just with Crystal. Now, I think it was the first time that I was ever body painted at the Playboy Mansion. This is back in the day, it is now anyway, almost 20 years ago. This was when I was still on Twitter, when Twitter was still a thing, when Twitter was still Twitter. And I was at the Playboy Mansion. I think this was the very first time I was going to be a painted lady. So I had been hired by Playboy to work at one of their parties as like a painted lady, a body painted model. They call them painted ladies. So I was hired to basically just be a model at the party that was wearing only body paint, completely nude with just a body painted outfit on. And there were always, several girls, quite a few girls that for each event that did that. So I was there getting ready to get our hair and makeup done, and we're kind of starting the process of that. And all the girls were like in the game room, and the hair and makeup was kind of set up outside around the game room. So we were chilling in the game room. I think actually I had just gotten my hair and makeup done and then was going to have the body paint put on or whatever. And we were in the game room, and I went on Twitter and I went to tag Crystal and Hugh Hefner. I do still have this dress. Yeah, it's hanging in my closet right now. I only wore it a few times, honestly. But I went to write a tweet and tag Crystal and Hugh Hefner in it and just say, thank you for the opportunity. I was super stoked to be there. This was like my first time being a painted lady at the Playboy Mansion. So I was just like very excited, very enthusiastic. And I was in the game room and I went to go try to write that tweet. And for some reason, Crystal wasn't coming up. And I'm like, that's weird, because I had followed her on Twitter and followed Hef for a while. And I noticed basically that day that I guess she had blocked me on Twitter, which was really strange because I still don't really understand the cattiness of it as I look back, and hindsight is 2020. And this is kind of what I assumed then. And I still, looking back, this is the only thing I can figure, is that I guess she saw me as competition, which I find very strange because I was never trying to date Hef. I was never his girlfriend. We never dated. I was never trying to date him. I was just happy to be there. I was thrilled just to be there and just be part of it all, Hold on, I gotta hit the bubbler real quick. Anyway, so this was before Hef and Crystal were married. Mind you, they were just dating. So let's just put it this way. When they were just dating, and then I think we all remember what happened. They were engaged. At one point, Crystal left him at the altar, kind of, hey, Ziggy, welcome, good to see you. She left Hef at the altar. I think that was extremely embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I were him. I think any regular guy would be embarrassed, let alone, a celebrity, let alone a guy that has a reputation for being this out of control kind of playboy. And then the one time, I don't know who you're talking. Oh, if that's actually Lunar, you're really not welcome here. I appreciate you saying sorry about your losses, but I don't deal with the fake two-faced stuff. I really don't need that in my life. You can go back to Nishon's and encourage him to be more unhinged. You know what I'm saying? But as far as I'm concerned, Lunar, I've been a good friend to you. I considered you a friend, and you've done nothing but stab me in the back and say some really disgusting things about me behind my back that have been brought to my attention on multiple occasions by more than one different person. So yeah, kick rocks. Go take your little moon boots and kick your little moon rocks. You have treated me very unfairly, very badly for absolutely no reason when I've been nothing but good to you. And I don't need people like you in my life. I don't need people like that in my life. People that have no loyalty, people that, you know, when you treat them good, they turn around and stab you in the back and treat you like crap. You know, you've talked shit. I've been sent screenshots of you talking shit about me in Nishan's chat, saying really sleazy, degrading things about me for no fucking reason. In Nishan's chat, in Blackout's chat. Like, you think that, like, because you don't see me, I don't see you, but, like, I have eyes everywhere. People let me know things all the time, you know? Hey, Nishan Watch, shout out to you. Speaking of Nishan Watch, you got to keep an eye on that weirdo. I don't know if you saw his last stream, but I heard it was just horrific. He was in here yesterday, and I was like, I unsubscribed from Nishan because I can't watch his streams anymore. They make me sick. They're just too disgusting and repulsive. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that they should be allowed on YouTube. Hi, Nicole, at least judging by what I heard about his last stream. Welcome, Nicole. I hope you're having a blessed day. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't want to like go on and on and on about this, but Crystal was competitive. Crystal was territorial, okay? And you know what I'm saying? I want to like people. Hey, yo, Mr. Noisy, welcome. Thank you. I hope you're having a blessed day as well. Like, I want to like people. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt because I don't like evil people. And I really, truly do want to believe that, you know, fundamentally people are good and they're coming from a good place and they're worth a shit and they're worth, like, you know, not being struck down to hell, you know? But I don't know. There are some people that are just extremely manipulative, and I don't know Crystal at all. I just know like the experiences that I've had, and I have zero reason to lie about any of this. It is not going to benefit me in any way, shape, or form to tell my experience that happened years ago at the Playboy Mansion and with Playboy and with Crystal Harris and with Hugh Hefner and all of that. Now, I remember, like I said, at the Playboy Mansion, the first time I was a painted lady, I went to go write a tweet and thank Hef and Crystal and at them in the tweet, you know, and then Crystal didn't show up and I'm like, what the heck? And I discovered that she blocked me. So, you know, my feelings were a little bit hurt, but I was like, okay, I guess she's just real territorial. Maybe she thinks I'm coming to get her man. I don't know, but that was not what it was for me at all. And I don't know why she would have even thought that, because I was totally respectful. Nothing ever happened between Hugh Hefner and I was never in that position that, like, it just was never like that, where it was like, you know, Hef ever was in the position to make a move on me, or I don't know, or, you know, shit, we were standing right together. We obviously met on more than one occasion. I guess if he wanted to try to get my number or something, he would have, you know, maybe he wasn't that interested. I don't know, but it wasn't like that, you know, and I certainly wasn't hitting on him. So I don't know what the problem was. I don't know why she ever blocked me in the first place, you know, because I definitely had never been disrespectful to her. Like I said, I was going on there to write a tweet to, like, thank them for their hospitality and just say how, you know, grateful and how excited I was to have that opportunity and to be there, you know. I was definitely not I had never said anything nasty, nor would I have. Okay, Ziggy says, I met Holly Madison back in 2000. Holly worked at Hooters in Santa Monica. I was in massage school at the time. She was a cool person at the time. Oh, cool. I've never met Holly. I do think I've met Crystal a little, just briefly, very like briefly, just like when we've been there, like with, you know, and Hef was there, you know, and everything. I think like when I've been there with Corey at the Playboy Mansion, Corey Feldman, I'm talking about, if you don't know. So, but you know, I don't know, like I've never like really like kicked it with them. Like I don't know Crystal. Like we weren't like all, you know, just sitting there chumming it up and ha 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 ha. You know, it wasn't like that. It was like, even when we went, there was like a lot of other people there. It was like on a Sunday fun day at the mansion. I mean, it was probably the day that I got this picture taken. I don't remember. I went there, you know, several times. Sometimes by myself for Sunday fun days, sometimes with Corey. I think this was the time I went with Corey, because of course when you go with one of Hef's friends, you're gonna get, you know, paid a little bit more attention to, you know, have a little bit more access, things like that, you know. Be taken a little bit more seriously, I guess. But I was never coming for Hef. So I thought that was weird, like right off the bat when it came to Crystal, you know? And I just thought, okay, I guess she's territorial. She thinks I'm trying to come for her man, which is, she would have no reason to think that, again, because I wasn't, and I was not displaying that kind of behavior whatsoever. I don't know. It was just a little odd. And so I noticed, okay, I was working at Playboy Live at the time doing the webcam thing for Playboy. And I was like, I remember being in the studio when, you know, we found out that like Hef was going to marry Crystal. And then I was still working there when he... when she left him at the altar the first time. And then that was quite like, whoa, you know, controversial. And then I think I was still working there. I can't really remember. Maybe I wasn't. When she finally, I was gonna say the second time when she finally married him. But, you know, I was still going to the mansion and stuff, you know, even like after they got married. The whole celebrity world with music and movies is very cutthroat when it comes to dating and relationships. Yeah, it is. It's weird. And that, you know, I'm glad that you brought that up, Ziggy, because that's actually a big part of what I wanted to say in my stream today, is that these women are very opportunistic, okay? And I don't like it. I just don't like it, okay? It's like, I don't like the way that Crystal has been talking about Hef, you know, since he died and everything. And where was this energy when the man was here to defend himself? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just like, it just bothers me because, okay, so like I said, she blocked me on Twitter before they were married, like when I was first going to the Playboy Mansion and like kind of first started like doing, you know, events and stuff there. Yeah, it really is. It just doesn't sit right with me at all, Ziggy. It just doesn't sit right with me for many reasons, and that I'm going to get into. But the first and foremost being like that she was so territorial back in the day. And then I felt like she was messing, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of like an evil, when you look back at it, it's like, was that all just like some evil control thing? And I think some women are like evil like that, and they do that kind of stuff to guys. And I do think it was like an evil, almost like an evil control thing to see like what she could, get away with if he would still marry her. And it's like, ha ha ha, he does. I definitely have him wrapped around my little finger now. It's like, because imagine somebody like, I don't know. I just imagine like somebody leaving you at the altar and then like still marrying them. I just think that's a little cray. It's a little cray. And it's kind of like I think you would really have to swallow your pride to do so. And so I was a little bit surprised that they did go ahead and finally, tie the knot after she had left him the first time at the altar. I was just like, wow, okay, I guess they allegedly worked it out, but I don't know, it's just weird. Like, women can be very controlling too. You always hear about men being like controlling psycho stalkers, and of course it happens too much, obviously, but women can be they can be bunny boilers, definitely too. They can be get real weird and controlling sometimes. And I feel like, I kind of feel like that. Like, looking back, I'm like, was that just like some kind of weird, like, freak control tactic? It, like a evil woman. Like, it kind of feels like that. And, I felt the same way about Felony Smelony, when she was with Aaron, about some of the stuff that she did, like as far as like having him tattoo her name on his face and everything. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm having like serious allergy issues. And it just kind of sucks. But, I feel like sometimes these women can be weird and controlling too. So, be careful out there, guys. But I mean, like, I would never want, like, ever my significant other. I don't care. Like, I have a boyfriend now. I would not want my boyfriend, to get my name tattooed on his face. Like, I would just be like, no, please don't do that. Like, I think that I would probably even tell him, I think that would probably be a deal breaker. Like, so that would just make it pointless. Just please don't do that. Like, what kind of woman? I don't know. An evil woman. That's what I'm talking about. Evil woman. Yeah, it's not, that's some weird shit. I don't like that. So anyway, back to Crystal Harris. We're not talking about Felony Smelony today. But it's just, I kind of see the similarities, you know what I mean? And it just seems like, I don't know. I already have my ideas in my mind about opportunistic people and everything anyway, but then I saw how Crystal Harris acted, like, through, that whole situation. And then I was like happy. I was like, okay, I was happy for them that, they finally got married. I was like, okay, let's hope this, hope it goes well. Hopefully she came around to the right side of thinking, and they'll be happy. And, and it seemed like they were, and then have passed away. And now, all of a sudden, it's all this horrible talk about... And I'm sorry, but Crystal Harris, she's gone back to wanting to be called Crystal Harris, not Crystal Hefner. But Crystal Harris, like, WTF? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, it's evil woman. It seems evil woman. It seems very evil to me. Like, why are you now... And it's over some, like, scrapbooks, like photo albums that Hugh Hefner had. I mean, he was Hugh Hefner. I can only imagine he probably had some photo albums of some, nude women in his photo albums. You know what I mean? Especially his ex-girlfriends and stuff. Swimming in the grotto and blah, blah, blah. That's what I feel like too, Ziggy. Like, she still wants her 15 minutes of fame. Like, she's mad that it's over and all she got was, a few years with Hef maybe? And I don't know. I really don't know the details, but she seems like she's upset because she got ousted from Playboy, like from like the company. And, I don't know what happened with that, but I will tell you, I've seen some things with Playboy, and I will just say that it is not what it used to be. I really feel like it's just not the same without Hef. It's that it was the end of an era, and I just think that shame on her and Holly and anyone else that would badmouth Hef. Okay, for example, I saw her on Instagram and stuff, and the comments are just insane. And some of these people are so, I don't know if they're just trying to rage bait or if they're literally that stupid. Well, Crystal, oh, by Playboy, you mean? That's kind of what it seems like. And it's like, you know, I don't know what she was thinking, but I don't know why she wouldn't recognize that in the first place. Like, ma'am, you're not gonna like take over Playboy. Like, who cares? Like, really, to me anymore, who cares who takes it over? And I know that that's like, it's kind of sad that I'm saying that, but I just, like I said, I just really don't feel like it is what it was when Hef was there. I love how Hef's ensemble here matches the Jessica Rabbit statue in the background. It's just great. But I have very fond memories of Hef and Playboy, and he was never anything but hospitable and kind, and, you know, very generous and selfless, and he did not seem like a creep ever. He never seemed like a lecherous old man. He was always so sweet and just very nice, you know, just a, you know, nice, you know, like, look at this picture, like, look how sweet he is. Like, you could, I don't know, he's just, he was a sweet man, and it just bothers me that, you know, all this nonsense is being talked now posthumously about him when he can't defend himself. Midnight Productions, I don't think so. Should I have? I don't know. Is it do they make horror movies, or is it like a adult film? And that's what it sounds like. It could be one of two. It's one of two things. Either way, I'm not familiar with it. But, you know, I just have, that doesn't sound good. Why are you familiar with that? I'm like, okay, you're scared of you. Creepy. Anyway. So back to the Playboy thing. We're not, I don't know where you what rock you crawled out from under. Oh, conspiracy theory movies? Oh, I don't know. I don't really pay too much attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, to like, not conspiracy theory stuff, but I'm saying I don't really pay that much attention to like who made the movie, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes a while for me to pay attention to all that. I feel bad, but so, the moral of the story here is I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong that, oh, that sounds good, Ziggy. I do like that kind of stuff. I think it's wrong that they are slandering, and from what I feel, slandering Hugh Hefner after his death. I don't know where Crystal gets off playing the victim card, like she's some kind of victim, when she was like, you know, the winner, like she won, you know, the prize, which was, you know, that all the other girls like her, gorgeous girls, beautiful girls, wanted and would have loved to marry Hugh Hefner and been his, you know, his wife and his one and only. And, you know, I just don't know why she's complaining now about a photo album. Makes no sense. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous to me. I've never heard of any wife of any celebrity or anyone ever complaining about, oh, my husband had a photo, had nudie pictures of me or something. Wah, wah, wah. I'm so afraid it's going to get out. Like, shut up. And that doesn't make him some kind of like a sex predator. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were there willfully, and some idiot had the nerve to be like, it's not that easy. Because I was like, why didn't you just leave if you were so miserable? Because she was like, I was just miserable. Nah, nah, nah. And I was like, well, then why didn't you just leave? Like, why did you marry the man? Why didn't you just leave? You know? And they're like, and then somebody's like, it's not as simple as that. Yeah, it is. It is as simple as that. Nobody had a gun to your head. You know, it wasn't a shotgun wedding. You know? If you didn't want to marry the man, nobody forced you to. Nobody forced you to be in a relationship with him. And it's pretty funny because I was around at the time and she was pretty damn territorial of him. So, you know, you sure as hell didn't have a problem then. You didn't seem so miserable. I mean, you might have been a miserable person inside or whatever, but you were definitely an opportunist and you were definitely taking the opportunity. And why? Because you wanted what? Fame and money out of it and you didn't get enough. So now it's time to now like posthumously slander the man and make it out like he was some horrible fucking sexual predator or something. You were there completely of your own accord. Like, you were ready to battle. Like, if they would have done like a gauntlet, if they would have done like, oh my gosh, what was that fucking shit that was so good back in the day that was like, you'd had to, like, American Gladiators. Oh my gosh, that's what it was. Oh my gosh, if they had to do like an American Gladiators, like battle each other on like an American Gladiators course, those bitches would have done it. I'm telling you, I was there. Like, nobody was there against their will. No one was being like sex trafficked at the Playboy mansion and all of that shit. All of these girls were thrilled to be there. They were thrilled to be, you know, a part of every single thing I did. Playboy TV, Playboy Radio, Playboy Live, being at any of the events at the Playboy mansion. The whole vibe was awesome. It was like good vibes. Everybody was awesome. Everybody was respectful. You know, I always felt safe there. I felt safe there running around the mansion in nothing but body paint. I had literally legit no clothes on. I have never been groped there. Nobody had ever been inappropriate with me. And I felt like if they had been, all I would have had to do was tell somebody and the person would have been 86 from there and not allowed to come back there. That's how like respectful and like just free and open and like mature and positive the vibe was there. Yeah, no shit. Absolutely miserable. I was thrilled every time I got to go there, and so was everybody else. You know, the mansion was beautiful. The grounds were absolutely gorgeous. They had monkeys. They had all kinds of birds and fish and, you know, fish tanks with all these different like tropical fish and stuff in them and like turtles and all kinds of neat stuff. They had peacocks that would just freely roam around. There was absolutely gorgeous. The grotto and the whole, I don't know, you can't really like call it, I mean, a pool. It was almost like a lazy river type of thing they had going on there, but it was absolutely awesome. And of course it was all heated and you could swim in it. And it was just, yeah, it was amazing. And the food too, because they had catering. Of course, they had their personal chefs there. Even on a Sunday, every single Sunday, Hugh Hefner, excuse me, would open up the mansion to girls that worked with Playboy and wanted to go there, and they just had to like basically hit them up, send them an email, whatever, basically like apply, just like ask to go. And you could go there and like just hang out there like it was your house and like use the pool or the grotto, whatever, do whatever you wanted, chill outside, you know, tan in your bikini. You would get drinks, if you wanted anything you wanted to drink, because they had anything, including alcoholic beverages, all free. Nobody had to pay. It was all, and there was, of course, food. You'd have they'd have like hors d'oeuvres like all day. You'd have like lunch or whatever. You could get food there, all for free. And then you'd have dinner that evening with Hef and everybody that was there. And then they would do like a movie night every Sunday, and he would open it up to different girls that worked for Playboy to try to give all the different girls, a chance to go there and get to experience that. Yeah, it was so nice. That was some of my favorite times going too, was on Sundays. Like this picture was taken on a Sunday. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it was fun. And for the most part, it was not like, it was just like a good, like an honest to goodness good time. It was, all it was like a huge bar. It was just people like drinking and socializing. It wasn't like people, like by the time I got there, like you see what age Hef was and stuff. It wasn't like it wasn't any like wild sex parties or nothing like that. I never saw anything like that. And I've said that the only time I saw anything even remotely like that go down was like when Dennis Hoff from here in Pahrump, where I currently live, was brought some of his girls, working girls, if you know what I mean, ladies of the night, from his brothel and brought them to the Playboy mansion. And two girls were basically making out, and they were doing, as Big T would say, they were doing some finger stuff. And I was like, oh my. And it was crazy too, because you didn't see that there, and so people were literally like standing around with their phones and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like taking pictures, or I don't even know if we had video on our phones then at that point. I think we did, probably. I don't remember. I don't know. It's all a blur, but oh yeah, there was a crowding around. It was pretty bad. But yeah, the grotto was great. That was my favorite part too. I loved going in there. I loved going in the pool. People would say like, like, oh, I heard rumors through the years that, the grotto, people were getting like diseases from going in the grotto and stuff. I'm like, what? No, nothing like that ever happened. At least not to me. I don't know. But it was always a good time. It was just always a big fun night. Any event that they had there, and you never knew who you were going to see there. I always saw a bunch of people. Of course, I knew a bunch of people that would go. So, a lot of people that I worked with and things like that. A lot of girls that I worked with mostly. Because it wasn't a thing where you could just bring your friends. It was like you had to be on the list. So it was like girls that, worked for there, but they couldn't like just bring their slacker boyfriends along or whatever. You know what I mean? And it was people that bought like tickets to go. It depended on what kind of party it was too. Like the Midsummer Night's Dream party that was like Hef's personal list, and you can't like buy it. There's some parties like that you can't like buy a ticket to. It's just Hef's party, like 100% Playboy, like Playboy only, Hef's list only. Which I personally was never on that list. But I did go to one with Corey Feldman, and I'm not going to say it wasn't crazy. It was actually like the lamest party I've ever been to there, because it was a lot of like older people that were Hef's age. But it was very, of course it was decorated. It was very beautiful. It was just, the energy was was way different. It was not as like intense and wild as like normal parties there. It was just like a lot more chill and like fancy and chill. And it was really cool though. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was like, it wasn't like that where you couldn't just like invite, like bring people with you. Like if you were on the list, it was just like, you're lucky that you were going, There was no, you don't get, you don't get like a plus one unless you're like, Corey Feldman or like one of Hef's like personal friends or something like that. And then, you can, but I didn't have it like that. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, it's crazy to me that, and that's the thing too. It is that easy. And I am sorry, but right. I don't like Crystal acting like she was so, abused, unless there's something that she's not telling people that, she better not make up some story now, you know what I mean? But, um, what's the problem? Like, what is the problem here? Like, I don't know. I don't like the opportunism. Like, I don't like how she wanted to be there so bad. Like, she wanted to be there. Nobody was making her or anybody be there. And there wasn't a bunch of weird sexual stuff going on. At least not, during the parties and stuff when I was there. I didn't live there, obviously, so I don't know what her and Hef did as a married couple or when they were dating or whatever. But I know that when she was dating him, she wasn't in a relationship with him and multiple other females. She wasn't one of the girls next door. So what is she complaining about? She was, I don't get it. Like, how was she so mistreated? I don't think, like you said, Ziggy, I don't think that she was. She's there with, like, their personal chefs and stuff 24 hours a day. I mean, that's the life. I would have been posted up just chilling. You know what? You already know me. I would have been outside tanning. Like every day I would have just been chilling, tanning in the sun. Hey, Phil Collins Hill, long time no see. How have you been? Thank you. Yeah. That's like the life, in my opinion. Just like living there at the Playboy Mansion. That's so weird. I just got 50 likes on a comment on YouTube about Crystal. Like, I don't know. I really don't want to dislike Crystal. I just would like Crystal to be a good person. And, I feel like, I don't know. And I don't think, like, Crystal's obviously not stupid. That's one thing I will say. She's not a stupid woman. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I just think that, I don't know. I think it can be easy to be tempted to do things that are not maybe necessarily on the up and up. And I just think that she should maybe reconsider her what she's doing, because I don't think that it's a good look either to be out here kind of playing the victim. You know what I mean? I'm just going to keep it real. I don't think it's good to be out here playing the victim. From what I could see, she was not a victim. There was no other like weird handlers there, and I would tell you guys if it was sketchy or weird like that. I would tell, because I'm not going to keep weird secrets, for people. It's like, I'll tell people the real, behind the scenes, if I know about it and I was there. But yeah, that's the real, is like everybody was thrilled to be involved with Playboy. I definitely felt like that was one place to me that did feel like, oh my gosh, I just saw 444. That's crazy. On the timer. But that was the one place in Hollywood that I did feel like was like a safe place. There wasn't like sleazeballs there. People weren't, it was it was great. I have nothing bad to say about, the Playboy Mansion, Playboy. The only thing I had one manager that was weird at Playboy Live, and I feel like that was still like so far removed. I never even saw him at the Playboy Mansion. Like any of the times I ever went, I don't know if he was even allowed at the Playboy Mansion. Maybe they knew he was kind of weird. I don't know, but and of course he never like did anything to me or anything, but he just seemed a little bit kind of sleazy in my opinion. Anyways, he actually did he did stalk me once. So that was weird. That was like before I had even started working there, but that's kind of for another thing. But he didn't like touch me, thank God, or, molest me in any way, thank God. But yeah, I just thought that was really creepy behavior and not professional. But yeah, other than he was like the only one. But other than that, like for Playboy, it wasn't like, there wasn't no like casting couch nonsense. There wasn't like, any of that. So I just really enjoyed everything that I did for Playboy. And I think a lot of other women did too, based on what I saw. And it was really fun. It was a fun company to do work for sure. I feel still very blessed. And so it bothers me to see women dragging Hef's name through the mud now that he's passed away and he can't defend himself, and I think most people probably know that it's nonsense, but I just don't think it's a good look. And I think that, I don't, what's funny too is, like I said, Crystal blocked me back in the day, right? When she was first dating Hef and I first started going to the Playboy Mansion and I was like first there as a painted lady. But then she unblocked me after her and Hef got married, which I thought was funny too. So it was like once she had it in the bag, then she was like feeling more secure. And so I don't know, it's just that kind of behavior and stuff. To me, that doesn't indicate a victim, somebody that was there against their will. Nothing that she did, any of the times that I ever saw her at the Playboy Mansion, even on Sundays, which were like a way chill, more kicked back, relaxed day at the Playboy Mansion when they were just, a very, it was nothing like the parties where there's like a ton of people there. It was just like a very minimal amount of people there. She never seemed like she didn't want to be there or she was there against her will in any way, shape, or form, Did she seem kind of bitchy at times and stuff? Yeah, I mean, my opinion, she didn't seem friendly. Let's put it that way. In my experience, she was there. It was like she was there doing what she had to do to be cordial, just cordial enough to pass, kind of, that, she was, she didn't seem like, I don't know. And if she didn't want to be there, I think maybe she didn't want to be, maybe she wasn't, attracted to Hef or something. Maybe that's because she was being an opportunist in the first place. It wasn't because she was being held there against her will. If anyone was holding her there, it was her. So it's just kind of crazy how she's acting like she's this victim and making this big stink about a photo album or photo albums that were allegedly Hef's personal photo albums that maybe have some naked women in them. Big deal. Like, I don't like the way that, what she's almost like insinuating. And she's not a stupid woman, and it's the timing of it and it's everything. And she knows that with excuse me, with it. And that's the thing. Somebody said something about like, it's 2026. How could you think that way? Because I said, well, if you were so miserable, why did you marry the man? Why didn't you just leave? What do you mean, how can I think that way? It's common fucking sense. I'm sorry, you don't have any common sense. I've been in literal at least one for sure. Well, actually a couple. And guess what? I left. Ultimately, I left. I was in an extremely physically abusive relationship at a very young age when I was only in high school. I was like 17. And I mean, I wasn't exactly emotionally or mentally mature, and I had never dealt with that before, so I didn't know what to do. So yeah, I didn't leave the first time either. But and but it didn't take me years. I think it took me about 6 months, and then I finally found the courage to get the hell away from the guy. So yeah, if you're so miserable in a relationship and it really is that bad, you need to leave. So I don't really empathize with women that want to claim that they're victims of domestic violence and things like that when they don't leave. It's very simple. If it's that bad and you're in that much fear for your life or this or that, then you take your first opportunity, you take every opportunity to get the hell out of there. It's because I don't play when it comes to abuse. Yeah, it makes you wonder, right, Ziggy? I think it's probably all of the above, and not enough money, not enough fame. And Hef's gone now, and it's kind of, the fame has fizzled and this and that. And literally people don't even know who she is. And it's like, and it's kind of, I saw her commenting in somebody's comments. It was like some other celebrity or something. And it was about, or it was on some, maybe it was something about Playboy that they posted, and people didn't even know who she was. And so I think it's all of that. I think maybe it's a loss. Maybe, who knows what her lifestyle is like now. She's definitely not living in the Playboy mansion. I can tell you that, So maybe she doesn't have as lavish of a lifestyle as she had grown accustomed to and wants. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I can see I'd probably be losing my shit a little bit too if I were her, but I wouldn't be trying to, slander, bite the hand that fed you, seriously. I just don't like the lack of personal responsibility. And how long was she with him? Years, right? Like I said, I was in an extremely physically abusive relationship when I was in my teens. I was like 17. I was a teenager. I didn't know what the fuck was, I wasn't mature back then. And I still managed to leave in 6 months. Yeah, it took me 6 months because I was 17. But guess what? The next time that a man ever put hands on me, I left like that, right then and there. And guess what? He went to jail. So right then and there, he went to jail and I went home and never saw him again. So I learned from that at a really young age. And I don't have a lot of sympathy for women who claim that they're victims of abuse. I don't care if you're rich and famous or you're married to a rich and famous guy or not. But I just think what Crystal's doing is unethical and just morally bankrupt, and I don't like it. Yeah, I think she is in a relationship now, actually. I don't know if they're married. I think that they might be engaged or something, but that's another thing, It's like, I don't know. I don't like it. And I think she just needs to move on and stop slandering Hef and, and stop playing the victim. I think that she needs to have more self-respect than that. Like, hey, chill out, cats. Jeez, these cats are acting crazy. Like, if you didn't feel like you had enough self-respect back then and you're regretting it, well, have some self-respect now and, you know, stand on your own 2 feet. Stop looking for a handout. Stop trying to, you know, sue or whatever. It's just ridiculous, you know? Are you cats okay? You're acting cuckoo. But yeah. And it gets on my nerves. And it's like, no, I don't have to have sympathy because, and I hate when these, I can't believe how like brainwashed these like idiots are. Well, it's just, to me, it looks crazy. It looks crazy as hell because it's like, I don't know. I just think it's a really bad look, and I don't know how she can't see that. I mean, I think it's embarrassing to me. I'm like secondhand embarrassed that she is taking this route. And I think, you know, I wanted to think Crystal was better than that, even with the past and her blocking me and being, you know, catty like that. And she's never been like rude to my face or anything, don't get me wrong. But I felt like, you know, I felt like she definitely didn't like necessarily the women around all the time, the other girls around. And I think that it was like she wanted to, you know, she wanted to be the queen. She wanted everyone to know that, oh, that's Crystal. Oh, that's Crystal Hefner. You will respect Crystal Hefner. You know, you will respect the queen. And I think, I don't know, she seemed like she really liked having that position when she was with Hef. That's for sure. That's what it seems like to me. That's honestly what I'm feeling. And I know that I didn't know them well. It wasn't like we were besties and we were kicking it all the time, but I do have a little bit of a rare glimpse inside, you know, and some personal experience, not a lot, but a little bit with Crystal. And like I said, I was there at the mansion, excuse me, even on Sundays. Sometimes I was able to kind of observe her on those days and those times, you know, around Hef and around other people and kind of how she interacted with people. And, you know, she never looked thrilled or overjoyed to be there, but it was always kind of like Queen Crystal. I just feel like it was really kind of that vibe. And I felt like Hef was a lot more, I don't know, like nice. You could tell like friendly, not like in a creepy way, not in a sexual way, just in like, he seemed genuinely more of like a people person, I guess I would say. Like he seemed more of a social person than Crystal. Like, I'm just going to keep it real. To me, it seemed like she was there for one reason and one reason only, and that was to secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? I think that was to secure the bag. And now that, you know, Hef's gone, and maybe she didn't secure enough of that bag or whatever, as she thought she did. But that's what I feel like this is all about. And I think it's pretty deplorable, honestly. And Crystal, I'm disappointed. You know, I like to think the best in people, but you're not showing your best self. And you know who I do like? I don't know. I think Holly might be in on like this kind of hate train. Or not Holly, Bridget, I mean. I know Holly is too. I know Holly's been salty for a long time because Holly and Crystal, I think, are very similar. The gold digger either spent all the gold, is mad she didn't mine. Yeah, or is mad she didn't mine enough. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I think. That's what it seems like to me. And it's like she's going to have to go back to pretty much like regular life now. She's not like some big celebrity out of the thing, you know. And she feels like, well, maybe she did stuff that she didn't want to do, or she was with a much older man that maybe she didn't feel like she was attracted to, and she married him and this and that, and she sacrificed so much in that way, and I guess it didn't pay off in the way that she expected it to. That's what it's giving to me, you know? And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the standard that it sets for men and women. I just don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. It's like you chose to be there. You almost battled your way to be number one in Hef's life, you know, when you're blocking girls and then unblocking them when it's safe, when you safely have the wedding ring on your finger. You know, come on. That's some catty ass behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's some insecure, catty, you know, controlling, territorial, you know, behavior. Oh, thanks, Reality Nancy. Yeah, this is obviously an old picture from the Playboy mansion. R.I.P. Hef. I just don't like all this slandering. That's what this whole stream is about. It's about, you know, I don't like what's going on. I don't know if you've heard about, like, the photo albums allegedly have had some personal photo albums, and some women are complaining about them and complaining that they may have pictures of them, you know, there may be pictures of them nude in the photo albums, and they're trying to act like Me Too victims and this and that, and trying to act like he's some sexual predator. And Crystal Hefner is like, well, she doesn't even go by Crystal Hefner anymore. And, you know, they never divorced. He just passed away. But now she's back to her maiden name, Crystal Harris. Crystal Harris is the main one behind, you know, and it's just, I don't like it. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Ziggy and Reality Nancy. Yeah, so I don't like what Crystal's been doing, and I just don't agree with it. I don't like the precedent it sets for other young women, you know, or men, like I said. It's just not good. It's not good. And I was just talking a little bit earlier in the stream about kind of my personal experience with the times that I've met Crystal Harris, and now again Crystal Harris, and formerly Crystal Hefner. I don't know, I guess she's back to her maiden name now, but you know, and just kind of the kind of strange experience that I've had with her on Twitter, and then, you know, in person wasn't as strange. It's just she was never like an outgoing, bubbly, you know, very friendly person. To me, when I saw her and Hef together, I didn't feel like it was a match. I felt like she was only there to secure the bag. I really do. I felt like, yeah, maybe she wasn't happy being with this older gentleman. Maybe she would like to be with, you know, kind of like Anna Nicole and Anna Nicole's baby's dad. You know how he is still such a cutie, that guy. He's aged really, really well. But I kind of feel like she's like that. She want to be with some young, hot dude or whatever. Yeah, I think she's suing them for, she's saying that there were these, like, I don't know, and I could be mistaken. I need to get my facts completely straight, but I just came on to like kind of air my feelings about it. But yeah, she's speaking out, and at least I think she's suing Playboy or something about these photo albums, and I guess were Hef's personal photo albums. And I don't like the way she's framing it, the speech she's using around it. She's saying stuff like there's nude pictures in them of women and possibly children or something like that. There's nude, I don't know if she said nude, but I know she said that there's nude pictures of women in them, possibly, and possibly pictures of children too. But it's like, but I don't think she said nude pictures of children, but it's like she's trying to like lump that in to make people think that. It's the language around it is really, that's what I didn't like about it, was the language. And I feel like she's being very manipulative, and she's trying to even manipulate the public's perception of Hef, and she's almost trying to make it seem like, you know, and it's like with the timing of it and the Epstein files and all of that, you know, we've had Weinstein, we've had Epstein, we've had P. Diddy and all that. It's like she knows what she's doing. And I don't like how she's trying to make Hugh Hefner out like he was some kind of sexual predator, or possibly even leave that put that in people's minds, or plant that seed by her wording of how it's worded. And I've seen it even in print. Any doubt in anyone's mind that he could have been some kind of like PDF or something, that it just all really bothers me, because in all the times I had been to the Playboy Mansion, and anytime I had ever been around, especially Hugh Hefner, I always felt like he was a wonderful man, a very classy, kind, generous, very generous man. He did not have to do any of the stuff he did. He was very philanthropic. Like, he was just, I feel like he was like the opposite of a sexual predator. And so it makes me really angry to see her trying to manipulate the perception of the public in terms of Hugh Hefner and Playboy, because she's sore that she got given basically the boot from like the Playboy like corporation, like the company. That's what I feel like this all is. And I just wish that she would take the high road. You know, I mean, be classy, because I feel like Hef was a classy gentleman, and I feel like she should be a classy lady, you know, and I don't feel like it's sincere. I've been to the Playboy Mansion when she's been there. I've been in close proximity of her. I've met her, I think, more than once. It was just very, very brief. It wasn't something that really sticks, because I wasn't really excited to meet her because of her blocking me in the past on Twitter, and just, I always felt that she was very catty and like territorial and like possessive of Hef, and like she thought that other girls were always trying to get with Hef and try to steal Hef away or something. It was just weird. I wasn't a huge fan of hers. I was gonna, of course, respect her because she was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend and everything, but, you know, I was definitely more excited about meeting Hef. I didn't take any pictures with Crystal. I didn't ask Crystal for a picture. Let's put it that way, you know. But yeah, that's what I think. I think she wants money, and I just think the timing of it all is really bad. It's really disgusting. I don't like the way she's been moving. I haven't liked the way that she's moved for years and years, almost the last 20 years or whatever, since I've first known of her. I thought it was really strange that she blocked me out of nowhere on Twitter back in the day, the first time I was ever at the Playboy Mansion. Not the first time I was ever there, but the first time I was ever there as a painted lady, I should say. Let me clarify that. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. I thought the way that she was moving back then was weird. I thought it was weird she blocked me back then. Like, she thought I was trying to get with Hef or something, which I totally was not. And that she had absolutely no reason to think that. And then I thought it was weird that she unblocked me after they were married. I was like, oh, okay, I see how it is. You know, it's kind of one of those things. And now she's doing this shit. And I'm just I mean, I've kind of had my reservations about Crystal the whole time. But I've always, you know, I don't know her personally. So she's, you know, other than that, she's never like done anything personally to me other than blocking me on Twitter back in the day, which I really didn't really break my heart. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't like the Britney Spears thing. It wasn't like I was a huge Crystal Harris fan to begin with. Like, I didn't dislike her, but I wasn't, you know, it wasn't about her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now it's like, now she's trying to make it all about her again. I don't care at this point. I don't care if I get blocked. I really don't. I don't have any ill will toward her. I don't even dislike the woman. I wish her the best. I wish her peace and happiness. I hope she has a hot young dude or whatever that, a handsome hunka burning love now that she can get down and get busy with, and maybe have some kids if she wants to or whatever, and just live happily ever after. But that's what I would like to see for her. Just, ride off into the sunset with your Prince Charming or whatever and live happily ever after. Don't, you're a beautiful woman. All this ugliness is kind of ridiculous. And, it's not pretty. It's not a good look. I mean, stay beautiful. Go live a beautiful life. That's the way I look at it. So if she takes offense to, this is just simply me keeping it real, telling it like it is and telling the truth. Maybe there's something that I don't know. Maybe there's something that, maybe there was abuse going on that I don't even know about. I doubt it very much based on what I've seen and what I've known. But, like I said, I wasn't living there with them. I wasn't living at the Playboy mansion. No, it's me. But speaking of Kendra, thank you for bringing me back to that, though. Kendra is the only one that I do like. I feel like Kendra is I don't know. I feel like I heard that Holly and Bridget, I used to like Bridget too, but Kendra was always my fave of the girls next door. But and I think Kendra is still a doll. And people have said some nasty things to Kendra, I guess, which is just, I can't believe it. I know. I think that's what it is about Kendra. I think she's a beautiful person inside and outside. And I think her true beauty shines through. And it always will, because she's a beautiful person on the inside. I think she's like the only one that was like, that I really think that was really genuine. From what I've seen now, and hindsight's always 20/20, from what I've heard, I don't know, I haven't watched it myself, but I've heard that Holly and Bridget have a podcast together. And I think Holly's kind of taken, why do I keep calling her Holly? I think Bridget has taken Holly's side also in kind of like trying to talk bad about Hef and, posthumously. And I just do not respect that at all. I think Kendra is the only one that hasn't. She's engaged since last year. Okay, that's what I thought. Hi, Ronald McDonald. Welcome. Yeah, we're just talking about some Playboy things. Because I just needed to get it off my chest. It really irritated me, and it really irritates me to see, especially people, and then say that I'm victim shaming and I'm victim blaming or whatever the fuck they want to call it. No, the fuck I'm not, bitch. I was there, bitch. I saw these opportunistic hoes. Okay? They'd have no problem with it when Hef was alive and they thought that they could hop on his schlong and get some fame and fortune out of it. They didn't have no problem with it back then. That's for damn sure. Okay, Ziggy says when Hugh died, she got $5 million and a home in the Hollywood Hills. Wow, isn't that enough for her? I mean, come on. What is the problem? Now that you mention that, Ziggy, I do remember hearing something about that. Wow, bitch, go away. I'm sorry, but go away. I think it's that she really thought that she was going to be a celebrity in her own right. Well, if she were, and that's the thing. I guess she can't keep the name Hefner if she's going to get remarried. Now, can she? She should have kept the name and just been like a woman boss and had her been like Oprah or whatever and not married the dude or have, if she really, that's kind of emasculating though. You don't want to make the guy take your ex-husband's last name. That'd be fucking ape shit. Oh my gosh. I'm glad she didn't do that actually. Well, 5 million, she should have $5 million and a house in the Hollywood Hills. I mean, I would have been good. I would have been good. She should have invested or something. Oh, wait, she sold the home for over $5 million. There you go. What an idiot. Where's she at now? What an idiot. Well, then she should have got a nicer home somewhere else. So did wait, hold up. She got $5 million plus the home. Yeah, okay, so that's $10 million. So then why don't you go ahead and turn that around and buy a $10 million fucking palace, bitch. That's what I would have fucking done. And go out and fucking get a damn job or whatever to pay for your bills. I don't know. Or like have your fucking fiance pay the bills. You got the mansion. He can move into your fucking $10 million mansion. I'm sure he could at least pay the fucking to keep the lights on, you know, and put food on the table. Like, to me, that's a motherfucking huge come up. Like, why is she, what the fuck? How is she complaining? Why is she now trying to fucking, oh my gosh, I'm getting more and more pissed. I'm getting more and more pissed, you guys. Like, I didn't even know all this. Oh my gosh. And if she turned around and sold the home for $5 million, that's ching, that's $10 million, bitch, in the bank. What the fuck are you doing, bitch? You know? That's a good chunk of change right there. I could live happily ever after with in a $10 million mansion. Let me tell you. Right? Meow. I could live happily ever after in a $10 million mansion. If anybody wants to throw the keys to a $10 million mansion my way, you probably will never hear from me again. If you hate me, that's what you should do. Give me the keys to the castle. I'm talking about Crystal Harris mainly, but I'm talking about all of them hoes. I'm talking about all of them. Yeah, we're talking about Crystal Harris right now. I love cheese too. I got some smoky Gouda. You're making me want to have some right now. She has a very successful fiance and a 6-carat vintage diamond ring. Oh, for the hell, what the fuck? Guy is a marine biologist with his own tour company in Hawaii. LOL, what is her problem? Wow. So she's just a Jezebel. She's got the Jezebel spirit. That's it. She's just a soulless Jezebel. Fucking Lilith. Fucking demonic evil woman. Evil woman. Wow. Crystal, why? You bitch, you could have lived your Barbie fairy tale. You could have lived your Princess Cinderella fairy tale happily ever after. Why you gotta be like this, Crystal? She could have a secret garden and all that. What's wrong with this lady? A marine biologist, not a marine. Yeah, he's good looking. Jeez. What a bitch. What a bitch. What is this person trying to say in the chat? Who's a coward? What do you mean blood? What are you talking about? Scotty, I'm so confused. You, STF, you can't even... Are you talking to yourself, Scotty? Maybe Scotty just getting frustrated because Scotty doesn't know how to type what they're trying to say. She scored? Well, why would you want to be with such a evil woman? Because, I don't know. Watch out, bro. She might bump you off next, and then after you're dead, she's going to drag your name straight through the mud, right through the cow manure. After you buy the farm, she's going to drag it through the manure. Drag your dead corpse right through there. How you like that? James Ward. Yeah, you're not going to like it, buddy. She might make it look like you had some kind of terrible accident in a submersible. And then she's going to be like, that fucking James Ward, oh my gosh, he was like holding me prisoner because I'm so beautiful. And his estate owes me money now because I'm a princess. And it's a good thing I survived. It's a damn good thing I survived, because I barely survived that man. I barely survived him. I'm a victim. And you don't know how it felt to be married to a handsome, rich marine biologist. I felt like I felt like I was in prison every day. I felt imprisoned. I was miserable. Absolutely. It was all I could do to fake a smile. I mean, I was dying inside. Absolutely dying. Yeah, you saw me sipping that champagne, but I was just trying to kill the pain within me. Okay? That's what that was. She makes her money from modeling, swimsuit design, and real estate. She has a good life, but a black heart. Obviously. Why isn't that enough for her? You were. What was that like? Obviously it didn't work out too well. By the way you're wording, that was married. Obviously it's a past tense situation. Well, I hope you're happier now that you're not married anymore. At least not to that person, you say? It's never fun to be in a bad relationship, and it must not have been too good if it didn't last. So, hopefully you're doing better now. Bad relationships suck. And that's why you should leave a bad relationship. Because once they go, they're never going to get better. There's so many fucking people out there. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how long you have to wait. I don't care how lonely you have to fucking be. Wait until you find someone that's actually like the one, the person that's actually going to treat you right. You're happy? You're gay now? Were you married to, I don't know. I don't want to delve into your life that much, but okay, good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you too. Who's a vampire? Scotty, you're not making any sense, Scotty. Come back to earth, Scotty. Scotty, are you tripping? What's going on? Scotty, you're scaring me. Scotty. I would like, psh, psh, like smack you around a little bit. Scotty. Start like shaking you. Like I'm sorry, I just watched Stranger Things. You're going in like a Vecna trance. And you're talking about the upside down, I think. Again, you're rambling on, Scotty, about the upside down. And just like rattling off some weird stuff. I know it took me a while. I still don't really understand the ending of Stranger Things, but I'm like, whatever, cool. I mean, 11 had to go because she got too much Botox, which I understand. I mean, because I didn't really notice it at first. But I did, her face, her face did look different to me. And it's just a shame because she's pretty young. But this is not about Millie Bobby Brown. I just bought a tank top from her at Walmart, and I like it. So far, so good. I've only worn it once, but I thought it was really cute. She has some really cute little shorts there and sturf. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know. I heard they said Crystal Harris was doing a bikini thing. Or doing, like, designing swimwear. I did not know that. Yeah, she needs to get to that. She needs to get on that. And design something good. Design some cute swimwear. And be happy. Be happy. And she should be grateful. It's just not a good look. It's not a good way to go out in history. I don't think. I think it's terrible. And, like, listen, if I saw, and like I said, maybe... See, this is what I don't like. If she really experienced anything that inappropriate or bad, whatever, she needs to be... I feel like she's lying, because if she did, she would say it. She would say what happened. She would come out and say it. Like the victims in the Epstein thing, they did come out and say it, didn't they? There's all those files of all those reports where they did, as painful as it was for them, they did come out and say exactly what happened. Many of them did. You know what I mean? How are you going to be out here claiming to be a victim and you can't say my address? What? And you can't say, like, what the fuck, you know, you're a victim of. Otherwise, stop playing a victim. You were married to a guy and there's nude pictures of you in his photo album. Big fucking deal. That doesn't make you a fucking victim. That does not make you a fucking victim in any way, shape, or form. You need to stop tripping. You should be like, and then she's like, oh, I don't want to be objectified and da-da-da-da-da. Bitch, you should be thrilled that if you have a beautiful body. You should be thrilled. You should be thanking God for it. Shut the fuck up. And who cares? Like, stop. Big deal. I don't know. Like, what do you got to hide? That's what I want to know. What do you got to hide? Because you're sounding like they try to make Justin Timberlake sound like, which is still puzzling to me. I think we're all puzzled. Even Sebastian Soto was puzzled. I was like, damn. He's not puzzled that often, but I know. I thought we were going to see something real bad with that body cam footage, but it was nothing that bad. You would think so. And then she like cashed out. I mean, 10 million is not nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, Justin got a DUI. Who cares? So did Britney Spears, and nobody bats an eyelash because she acts crazy all the time. And she's already mentally conditioned, because everyone's mentally conditioned sheeple, and she's already mentally conditioned y'all to think that she's crazy. So when she acts crazy, people are not going to think a damn thing. But if somebody like Justin Timberlake, who doesn't act crazy, makes a mistake, then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, no. It's so stupid. I finally figured it out. It's all this mental conditioning bullshit. And the evil people use it for evil. It's really sad. Not Tiger Woods. No. All my heroes. No, I'm just kidding. All my heroes are just crashing down. Not Tiger. Well, you know what? That's weird, because my fish just died and my fish's name was Tiger. Weird, huh? I'm kind of creeped out now. My fish wasn't drinking, though. I don't know what happened. Poor baby fish. He was such a good fish. But yeah. R.I.P. Tiger. R.I.P. You're with Hef now. In heaven. And oh, I bet. That's very sad, Ziggy. I hate to hear it. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't think I knew that his father passed away, but that's very sad. And, that's terrible. So maybe people should cut him a little slack, if anything. And why is everybody giving Britney a pass? Why? That's what I'm tired of. Britney always gets a damn pass. Just because, why? Because she's a nutcase? I'm tired of it. Good God. It's ridiculous. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, God. Shouldn't even say that. Goodness sakes. Darn it, Britney. She did it again. But people always want to make excuses for Britney. Oh, but they treated Britney so bad. She got MK Ultra and everything. And it's just like, yeah, but also Britney's mean. Britney was mean to me when I met her in person, so, and that was rude. There was no reason to be mean. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy like you, Britney. I'm not dancing around with knives. Calm down. You're the one that needs to calm down, Britney. Not me. I'm fine. I'm just chilling. Anyway, but yeah, I don't like this bullshit. I just wonder if there's anything I forgot to say. I just had to go live and say this because I'm tired of these fucking asshats being like, it's not that easy. Yes, it fucking is. It is that easy. And I guarantee if Crystal would have said that she wanted to get a divorce like a big girl, or just leave, or not get married to Hef in the first place, she could have easily done so. She could have easily walked her happy ass out of there, or she could have just called a cab. She could have called like an Uber or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Britney's a cray-cray. Britney's definitely crazy in my experience. But I don't wish any ill will on her either. I don't have any ill will toward her. I don't wish any harm on her. You know, I hope that she just can be safe and happy, you know, and have a happy life in her mansion, a $10 million mansion or whatever the fuck it is, you know, as well. So, I don't know. I don't know why these people can't be happy with all their millions and millions of dollars and their $10 million mansions. It's crazy to me. Or $5 million mansion. I don't give a fuck. Then and if you sold it, then go buy a motherfucking $10 million or $7 or $8 million mansion. Biatch, like, what's the fucking problem here? I don't know. I would be happy as a fucking clam. And guess where I'd be? Spicy gang? You already know. In my fucking bikini, fucking out by the pool every fucking day. Like, hell yeah. You know, probably up in the Hollywood Hills or whatever. Chilling by my pool. Taking a dip. I don't think I'd ever get bored of that. And if I got bored, of that, I don't know. I would do whatever I usually do. Like maybe play a game or watch something on, you know, Netflix or wherever. Or YouTube or the YouTubes. Or maybe I would go, you know, make some AI art. Or I don't know. Maybe I would go take a walk. Maybe I would go hike Runyon Canyon. Or go to the beach. Yeah, it's way too much negative energy. These people are wild and out. And, I mean, I can see why people are upset with the current stuff going on. And I think people should be angry about, you know, the current administration and about, and I'm just about the whole thing in general, about the 1%. That's what I'm angry about. I'm angry about all that bullshit, about the Epstein files. I think people should stay angry about that. You know what I'm saying? And about P. Diddy, about the whole entertainment industry. But I will tell you this. I don't like them putting Playboy and Hef under the bus with that because that was not my experience whatsoever. In fact, it was quite the opposite. And I don't know what Crystal's experience was, but it doesn't sound like she's really coming out and really talking about it. I don't know, she probably had wrote a book or some bullshit like that, but I don't like when these people do that either. And same thing with Perez, you know, Perez Hilton, and I posted about him on my community wall. And I think it's going to take Perez a little time because I know that he's new in his faith and everything. But, you know, I guess he shared his testimony, but only on Patreon. And I'm like, I really wish you would share your testimony, like, if you really believe this, like, with the world, not behind a paywall. You know, it just, I think that that's one of those things that you don't really do that with, you know. But at the same time, I have to give him grace and be like, okay, he's just learning, like he's just starting out, you know. So, you know, I could see him not being, but I just think if there's anything that you should share for free, it would be, you know, your testimony about maybe like your near-death experience or whatever. And he says that God like came to him and like revealed himself to him, like was like, I don't know. So I would definitely be interested in hearing that. I don't think everybody has the money to go subscribe to his Patreon, but I think it would probably be an important thing for him to share that just to the general public, like, especially if he really believes it and if he's really feeling that faith. You really shouldn't like charge to, that's what I'm saying, Ziggy. That's what I'm saying. Like you shouldn't charge for your testimony. That's not really, you're kind of missing the point there. You know what I mean? I'm just like, what? But at the same time, I got to be like, well, he's new, you know, too. So, God bless him. Let's just hope that maybe he gets enlightened a little bit more on his walk with Christ, hopefully. And the Holy Spirit, hopefully the Holy Spirit. Lord, I just pray the Holy Spirit on Perez Hilton. Oh, in Jesus' name, amen. I hope not. That's terrible. I mean, I know I'm sure he has hospital bills from being he was in the hospital for like 21 days. But I also feel like if he were that broke, he could set up a GoFundMe and have his hospital bills paid, I'm sure, by people in Hollywood in no time. I feel like people would like rally around him and help him out in his time of need. I definitely believe that the Lord would provide for him if he's hurting that bad, but I don't think that's the way to do it. Yeah, he's lucky to be alive right now. He looked like he was he looked very not well when he first got out of the hospital. It looks like he's getting better and better, which is good, but he looked pretty rough when he first got out. And you could tell he had been, and he sounded really rough too. And you could tell he was like fighting for his life in the hospital. So, and I guess that was in the hospital in Las Vegas. Oh yeah, that's exactly what he was basically saying. And so yeah, it was pretty, he shared a little bit about it, but he did like a 25-minute video, which I watched, and I posted on my community wall or whatever the hell they call that on here. And it was pretty good, but I would have liked to hear more about the religious aspect of it, or the God, whatever. I don't know if you want to call it religious, but, the God aspect of what he was talking about. And he didn't really go too much into detail when it came to that. So, no, that's, I think, if allegedly he put that behind a paywall on Patreon, and I'm just like, oh no, Perez, that's not good. It's not a good sign. Oh my goodness, don't do that. But yeah, I gotta dye my hair really soon. Not right like this moment, but probably later on today. I just washed my hair and it feels really nice, but yeah, I'm gonna have to dye it. I don't want it to get dirty. I need to dye it while it's clean and dry. Excuse me. Yeah, right? Ziggy, I know. I'm like, it's just kind of, it's not hitting. It's not, maybe it's not hitting the way that he thought it would, but it's like, things that make you go, things that make you go, But yeah, I don't know. So that's what I've seen going on. I may have to check out, I don't want to check it out because I really don't like Holly Madison either. I always thought she was very much an opportunist too. But I might have to see about this podcast with her and Bridget and do a little bit more research and maybe get back to you guys about like what exactly is going on with Crystal, and like be a little bit more precise about my, maybe come at you with some facts or something. But today I just wanted to talk about my feelings really toward it because these people in the comments made me angry. Right, Ziggy? I know. I know. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, the people in the comments made me angry about like this, oh, you're a victim. No, I am not. You weren't you weren't there. You didn't, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I can't, you can't call yourself a victim when you were just like willingly there. To me, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That takes away from actual victims. You know what I'm saying? Like what Crystal's doing and stuff takes away from actual victims. And that's not okay. It's like, it's very demeaning to people that didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? To actual victims of, you know, abuse, to actual victims of sexual assault and things like that. See, there you go, Ziggy. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like, and it's cool. Just don't now turn around and act like a victim. That's all. It's not that difficult. It's like, you know, just, you should be happy that, like, you know, you got to go there, you got to chill there, you got to spend your time there. And especially like Holly got to, I think Holly's just always been salty that, because Holly always wanted to be the only one. She always wanted to be Hef's one and only. Holly wanted to be what Crystal ended up being. Like Holly wanted to be the one that he ended up marrying and then ditched the other two, ditched Kendra and Bridget, and then just marry Holly. I think Holly genuinely thought that that's what was going to happen. She thought she had it in the bag. I really think. And then I think Holly was upset when that didn't happen. And I think it did happen it's just crazy because it's like Holly wanted what Crystal got and Crystal got it and she's still not happy. And now they're both like, Hef was so bad. He was so evil. He was so and it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, shut up. Like, wow. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's just, you know, I feel like, I don't know. You know, I do feel for guys out there sometimes, you know, I do. Because some of these women are very just, they don't have any heart. They're very opportunistic, but, you know, that's why you can't be fooled by like just a pretty face. You know, you got to have like some substance behind it. And that's how I feel about Kendra. I think Kendra was the whole. I think if Hef should have married anyone, probably Kendra, because I think Kendra. But you know what? It's okay the way it turned out. You know, maybe it's better off for Kendra. But either way, I think Kendra was like the total package. She was beauty and heart. You know. I don't believe any of them did have a kid with Hef. No. Even Crystal, who he ended up marrying and being with just Crystal, she did not end up having Hef's child. And yeah, none of the girls next door, Holly, Bridget, or Kendra, none of them did. Oh, I agree. Trust is extremely important. Yeah. Yeah, I just think Holly is salty and will forever remain salty because she didn't get what Crystal got. And then Crystal got it and is still salty. And it's just weird. It's like, you know, I don't know. I think these girls, I don't know. I feel like they knew what they were doing. They were not coerced, you know. Nobody was putting a gun to their head. Nobody was, you know, making them be in a relationship with Hef. They were adults. They were consenting adults. You know, it's just this whole victim shit is not sitting right with me. I don't know why she's acting like that, but it makes me sad to see, and just on many different levels, it just makes me sad to see it, you know, and it's just so disrespectful. And I just had to say something about it because I have a great appreciation for Hugh Hefner and Playboy and the work that I did for Playboy and even Playboy Live, which was probably like, at the time, and it wasn't because of the job at all. The job was great, but because of that one manager was kind of like, when I worked in the studio, I was kind of like, I would just rather avoid him. But, you know, every other thing I did for Playboy was like so great. And even the studio was great. I just kind of wish there would have been a different manager, I'm not going to lie, because he was a little bit creepy, and I always felt like a little bit like awkward around him. But he never like did anything like I said. I think that he knew better. It was just it was more of the vibe. It was a weird vibe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, oh yeah, I agree. That's so true, Ziggy. I know. I just had to get to the point where I'm just like, I think you have to accept that like what's for you is for you, and what's not is just not. That's where I've had to get with it. And it's like, if I find out that like, you know, a guy like cheats on me or whatever, then he's just obviously not for me. Like if I can't trust him, then then, and I'm just, at this point, I just feel like I wouldn't even be like that upset about it. I would just be like, okay, like, you know, I've learned to be able to like accept stuff without like freaking out like I used to back in the day. Like when I was younger, you know, just take it as like a learning, you know, what can I learn from it and move on. I like dreams. I like dreams better, but I try to be realistic. I have to, right? I'm forced to. I'm a dreamer, but I'm forced to live in reality. I have some pretty crazy dreams. So, and most of them are not like bad. So, they're pretty cool. It's like, it's cooler than Earth, I will tell you that. Like my dreams are like, my dream world is like cooler than this world, I think. At least it seems like I get to do a lot more cooler stuff in my dreams. Like I'm always out and about doing stuff. So that's fun. Yeah, I need to take a nap today now because I got woken up early again by my cat eating plastic again. And it's very sad. It's very sad for us. Okay, you too. Bubbles. What are you talking about? I don't know what bubbles. All right. Oh, the bubbler? Oh, you're funny. Okay. Okay, Ziggy. Have a blessed day. Be safe out there. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, I think I might have covered everything that I wanted to say too, actually. And I feel like I'm getting distracted now. And no one's really chatting but Ziggy, so it's all good. I was just bored and I was irritated because I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of hearing this nonsense. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't know why. Peace out, Ziggy. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why Crystal is just all over the place, just going off. And I just, the victim thing is not a good look. And I don't, especially, it's just, I just think it's morally wrong. You know, I know it is, and I don't like it. And I stand with Hef, and I maintain, you know, that, and I will, that I never saw anybody being treated badly at the Playboy Mansion. Oh, he's gonna be here soon. Very soon, Penelope. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I gotta get some stuff done too. I know I might not be tanning now that I think about it, because I do need to get do need to get my ass in gear a bit. Probably today. Thanks, Jimmy, you too. But yeah. I'm definitely excited. It's gonna be fun. The weather is beautiful here. Thank God. It's not gonna be like last time when the weather was so bad. I was very irritated with it. Oh yeah. Well, I'm very happy that he can as well. Oh yes. I'm gonna try to take care of myself. My allergies are kind of kicking my ass today. And I got woken up like hella early, which I definitely didn't need. And so I'm tired, but I don't care. I was just pissed about it. I was just pissed to see these brainwashed tards like talking about and trying to tell me I'm victim blaming or victim shaming. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, ain't no victim blaming about it, because it ain't no victim. Stop lying. Like, oh my goodness, you're tripping. And if I'm wrong, then she needs to come out and say what the hell happened if she's actually a victim of something, because to me, that does not make you a victim, because you were married to a man and there may be nude photographs of you in his personal photo album does not make you a victim of anything. You were married to the man. I don't care if you were even dating him at that time. Like, duh. Like, if you know, and don't like, what was he taking? Is she trying to say that he was, if it's something hella creepy, then come out and say it. Was he taking pictures of you while you were, asleep or something? Was he, like, I don't think so. Was he like drugging you and like taking pictures of you against your will? I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it. If it's something like that, then you need to come out and say it. If it's some sick, kinky, weird shit or whatever, then, and that you're actually a victim of, then that'd be different. Then maybe I'd look at it a different way, But for you to say it like, and I mean, I know the kind of pictures, like, Hef liked beautiful women. He liked the female body. He wasn't about like degrading images of women. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine that these images would be like some, even if he had nude photos of her in his personal photo album, I can't believe that they were some, I don't imagine that they were some kinky, freaky, weird, I don't know, like, what's the word? Degrading, types of images or anything like that, because I don't feel like that was Hugh Hefner's style. I think that most people know that wasn't the case, unless they're, some secret, he has some secret dark side, like, in which case, prove it. And if it, obviously if it's proven, and I'm not saying I knew the man that well or anything, but from what I think everybody in, America knew, his brand to be like and stuff, it doesn't seem like anything to complain over to me. And then to be dragging somebody's name through the mud posthumously. So that's where I'm at. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've been live almost 2 hours now. I think I'm going to get going because, I don't know, I think I've said everything that I need to say about this topic. And I hope everybody has a blessed day. I just, you know, I have nothing but good things to say about Hef and my time, any times that I've ever been a guest at the Playboy Mansion. You know, nothing but good things to say, and I will always be very grateful, extremely grateful, and feel so very blessed for being able to have those types of experiences and have that time in my life and have a place where I felt safe and respected, that I wasn't going to be violated, that if anybody came at me disrespectfully like that, they would be tossed out and never welcomed back. That's what Playboy was like in my experience. That's what Playboy meant to me, specifically going to the Playboy Mansion. I just feel like Hef would not have stood for anything like that. You know what I mean? Because nobody was ever disrespectful. It was really great times that I'm very blessed to have even got in on the tail end of an era. And I just don't know how anyone could be complaining, because all I felt there was, you know, hospitality, generosity, and, you know, love, and, you know, in a good way, and safety. So, you know, long live Playboy, and R.I.P. Hef. God bless him. And that's it. Everybody have a blessed day. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.